eaten journals. That's what I was expecting. Yes, Sam.
I'm just trying to think through. Now we are shifting from the idea of the idea of Christendom is still there. But now we are coming to pockets of monasteries. And I'm looking at them as kind of mission stations within Christendom, is it?
Yes, yes. Yes, that's true. I mean, there were monasteries before there was a Christendom. But in their origin, and of course they become corrupted too, but in their origin, they are a revival mechanism. And they are also, I think, in this period of utter mayhem, the ghastly situation in which Europe lives for many centuries of almost permanent warfare, they become a very important Christian symbol. And you're right, that they are missionary in this sense. This is God's mission to the world as expressed through these groups of dedicated men and women. Yeah, I think that's right. I mentioned a moment ago the Reformation, perhaps one should say Reformation, plural, that occurred in the 16th century. And that 16th century again is vital for European history because it divides Europe permanently, north and south, Catholic Europe, Protestant Europe. One thing to remember about that division, neither side was giving up on Christendom. The Protestant reformers believe in Christendom. Christendom is European history. Europe is the history of European Christianity. The reformers wanted to reform the whole church. Luther starts by calling on the Pope to reform the church. Or will the Pope call a council and let the council reform the church? It's only when it becomes clear that this will never happen that he calls on the German nobility, the lay people, to reform the church in Germany. And what happens in Northern Europe, in Protestant Europe, is the reformation of the church in each state, in each political unit. You're still not expecting more than one church. There's still only to be one church in each state. And the result is, of course, that the important division for Christians becomes the nation. You have a church in England operating on its own line, another church in Scotland operating on its own line, other churches in the different states within the empire, effectively Germany, in Scandinavia and elsewhere. In each case, you break up Christendom into political units. And in Protestant Europe, these political units take vernacular languages. Because the argument is that each area can express itself, but you're still only expecting a single church. the idea of the denomination is a long way away. So, and you're still expecting a single church, because the single church is still operating in relation to the state. It's still a Christian state. So you have, well, nowadays there's a tendency to call them established churches or state churches. But the original idea was that they were simply the church within this country. Now, you see, we have an odd situation in Britain where you have a union of England and Scotland, each of which has an established church, but different established churches. In England, Anglican; in Scotland, Presbyterian. The Queen, therefore, is an Anglican when she's in England, a Presbyterian when she's in Scotland. And this is the legal position. Because there's only one, in principle, there's only one church in each political unit.
One notion about the monastery, the original idea of going into new frontiers, when in Europe Christendom became converted by law, then there's no need to do missions, but in the monastic communities, such as what's it called, St. Francis, some of the earliest missionaries before the missionary movement came to being that headed out to the new frontiers, the new world, like with Columbus to go and
we're coming. Oh, sorry, did you say Columbus or Columba?
Columbus, yes.
Columba. That's pre-Christendom, of course.
Yeah. But so they saw
that's pre-Christendom. This is still missionary at this stage. Yes, that's why I say that the monasteries predate Christendom, because they were very much mission agencies in the period before the conversion of Europe. When the conversion is complete or near complete, then, as you say, mission becomes different. And I think what happens is, it's not that you don't need mission anymore. It's that mission becomes pastorally orientated rather than evangelistically orientated.
Within the parishes. But now there is no longer any, and that's why for like 700 years or so, there is no new frontier. There's no new territory.
There's no new cultural frontier. You're supposed to be working within.
Yes.
That's right.
Way until the discovery of the new world.
Yes.
Which is when now the monks begin to find a new place to go for missions, even though it's still politically motivated.
Perhaps we should begin to talk about this. I think you're dead right. The monasteries, the monastic orders, become important once you move beyond the frontiers of Europe. Because that's where the missionaries come from. And that's why Catholic missions start before Protestant missions. Because the Protestants get rid of the monasteries. They kill the goose that lays the golden egg. And they don't have They simply don't have a mechanism for mission for a couple of 100 years after Catholic missions have started. I think this is another reason why monasteries are important. But may I just draw your attention to an important thing that perhaps I've implied but haven't really made clear. This Christendom, this Christian Europe, is well aware of this Islamic world here. It's not very aware of any other part of the world. Oh, sorry. It knows less about China and India than the Greeks and Romans do. It has little or no direct contact with those areas. It knows nothing about Africa beyond its northern coasts. It has no contact with Black Africa at all. It knows only the Muslim area here. So it's a Europe which is sealed off for several hundred years from the rest of the world. Here it is stuck at the western end of the Eurasian landmass and pretty isolated. Christendom over against Darul Islam, but you've no real way of thinking of anybody who is not a Christian, a Muslim, or a Jew. You know that there used to be people called pagans, but the only way you know about them is by reading your Latin classics. You read Latin poetry, and you read Ovid, you read Virgil, and that's where you get your ideas of any other form of religion from. When the New World over here comes into European concept, the first books showing pictures of these Indians, as they're called in America, show them wearing Roman dress.